Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here, or welcome back to the channel. Real quick, I want to talk about Queen's Court. Let's chat about that for a minute here. Okay. Now they done dropped all the episodes, but I'm really going episode by episode. So right now I'm on episode 1, and I feel like it's a lot of moving parts to it. So we just gonna try to discuss what we can with this particular review. Now, I hate that I don't have pictures of these guys. I hate that I do not have images of these guys, but if you all have watched the show, y'all pretty much know who I'm talking about. But I wish I had the images to be able to show y'all. I was unable to screenshot over on Peacock because Peacock don't play that. They not gonna let you just come up there and do whatever it is you want to do on a platform. Girl, it's giving a negative, it's giving a no. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about what we can. All right, so first of all, Tamar pretty much opens up the show and she's talking about how she's worked on every aspect of her body and her mind, and she needs somebody else who's going to be able to match that. All right, now let's put this out there as we speak on Tamar. And before we really get into the episode, y'all know news ended up breaking that Evelyn Lozada is engaged to a guy that she met on the show. Well, the news also broke later that day that Tamar is engaged to one of the guys she also met on the show. And that was one of my questions, right? Well, what's interesting to me is that Tamar's story was covered by People magazine. However, I'm sorry, not Tamar, but Evelyn's story was covered by People's magazine. But Tamar, for some reason, hers was not covered. So it makes me question whether or not Tamar and her boo are still together and if they're still engaged. Okay. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just a question, just something that, I have on the table. All right. And I just want to know, girl, because I also did not like how they dropped her engagement announcement. It was like they just threw it out there. And I was like, well, dang, not them being on the same show. And y'all just going to throw it out there. Like, here you go. I don't like that, but it ain't my business, girl. I just talk about it. Let's keep going. So Nivea says that she's learning to unlearn things, and it's taking a lot of work on her end because she didn't realize that she was the problem. Now, when it comes to Evelyn says that she felt hexed because all of her relationships ended up the same. It was physical and mentally abusive for her. So she was wondering, like, girl, what's going on with me? Why do I keep getting with the same type of guys, right? So she says that she's ready to love, but based on her past, she really is afraid to move forward. But what we do know about the show is that the ladies will get the opportunity to meet 21 single men. Now, the first night, they're going to meet 8 men. And they will meet the first 8 men at a masquerade party. Now, keep in mind, Holly Pete and her husband are the ones that are hosting this show. So she comes in from time to time, getting the ladies' perspective and also giving them a little bit of advice. So we'll see her and her husband throughout the show. All right. Now, they do the masquerade ball or whatever. Then they do the great reveal, and you can hear some of the guys saying Tamar's name, like, that's Tamar, that's Tamar, that's Tamar. I'm like, girl, we can hear y'all, even though y'all whispering. Y'all know it's quiet in here, girl. Like, we can hear y'all. And Tamar looked so cute the way she kind of like gave a little glimpse and like blinked and batted her eye or what. I said, Tamar, girl, you know who you are. Like, you know exactly who you are. And the people love it. But either way, go ahead, girl. Work those eyes. So right out the gate, Puff, this guy named Puff is feeling Evelyn, right? And she's feeling him right back. Now, there's a white man by the name of JR who's very smooth. And so far, I do believe he's the only white man that we've seen. And he is feeling Miss Tamar, girl. Because once they got done, revealing each other, and it was time for the ladies to mingle because they had to choose 2 guys to go out on a date with, Mr. JR hurried up and grab Miss Tamar. And I was so here for it. I said, you better grab what it is that you want, sir. I'm not even gonna be mad at that. Like, if that's what you want, we here for it. Okay. Now, Mac is a person that's intrigued by Nivea, and I think Nivea might be a bit intrigued by him. And when I saw Mac, I was like, you know what? I think that Mac and Nivea really do complement each other. So we'll see what the vibe is really given, as the episode progresses. Now, it's time for the ladies to go out, get to know people, so they can choose 2 men to go out on a date with. Tamar sits down with JR because I told y'all he hurried up and snatched her up. And Tamar learns that JR is a divorced father of 5. He's also a veteran, from my understanding, and I think he might be an attorney too. Don't quote me. But yeah, so he's a divorced father of five, and she was like, five kids. So like, what's going on? And I saw how he tried to slick the flat. We see you, JR, but I mean, you a real smooth brother though. Now he says this is when he opens up about his mom and her being a heroin addict and him being the only child with no dad, and how he, he has so many kids because he longs for that type of connection and all this and that. And I said, I see how you spent that. Girl, at the end of the day, some people had similar situations as you when they ain't got no five kids. Okay, don't be trying to play on the people's heartstrings. We see you, JR. But either way, all right, he goes on to talk about how he's trying to build generational wealth. So he really was trying to tie his story into having a lack of things when he was younger. His dad wasn't in the picture. His mama was a heroin addict. He was the only child. Like, I'm sure he was bouncing all over the place. So, yeah, he got all these kids and he's had his experiences and stuff. And I'm over here like, you got five kids, but how many baby mamas? And we do learn later on in the episode that he has one ex-wife and he has three baby mamas. So that's five kids and three baby mamas. So I guess one of the baby mamas was an ex-wife. But okay, then I guess. But all in all, she does invite him out on a date because I think Tamar really does like that. A man knowing exactly what he wants, running in, grabbing her, all of that. I think she really likes it. So that's where we were, right? Cool. Now Evelyn meets with this guy named Rashawn. I believe that yeah, okay. She meets with Rashawn, right? I should have known that Evelyn was not featuring Rashawn the way that she was sitting in the chair. She wouldn't even she was sitting with her back towards him. She wouldn't even turn herself around in the chair fully to be able to engage him. So I said, this lady is not feeling you. You are not her type at all. Okay. Then his hair, I was looking at his hair like, what's going on? Evelyn was like, baby, I can't get past his head. It's too much going on. So it looked like he let his dreads grow out and never got them re-dreaded. But then it also looked like he had braids mixed in with the dreads. And it's just like he just let it go. Just, I mean, at what point are you going to cut it off? Like, sir, you need the big chop, okay? You need to get the big chop, sir. That's what you need to do because I don't know what's going on over there. But let's keep going. So Nivea meets with Nathan and she meets with Michael, all right? When she sees Nathan, she immediately runs up to him and ready to go ahead and give out that date, baby. Ready to give that date out. But then, hold on, before we get to that part. So Michael says, let's get on Michael. Michael says that he's friends with all of his exes in the confessional. And the producer was like, oh, are you? Well, you do know what they say about you, right? He was like, well, what you talking about, girl? And she was like, well, I'm just letting you know the people say that you're a sociopath if you're still friends with all of your exes. Whoa. I was like, do they really say that, girl? I'm gonna have to look that up. Send me that article. All right. But yeah, I'm like, so you was just with these ladies and it just ended on a good note with everybody. I don't know. I mean, it is giving red flag though, just a little bit. But let's keep going. All right. So Evelyn invited Puff on a date. All right. She also talks with a guy named Gatsby, who says that he's like a filmmaker or something. But when she was talking to Gatsby, Gatsby was doing a whole lot of talking about himself. His name need to be called Gaston instead of damn Gatsby because or he need to take the damn T out of Gatsby and call it Gatsby because all he did was talk about himself and gas him damn self up is what he did the whole time he was talking to that lady. And I knew, I was like, girl, I don't know how you entertaining this man, but after a while, she was looking like, whoo, girl, she went to the confessional and was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this, baby. I couldn't even get a word in because he too busy talking about his stuff and his life. I said, I know that's right, girl. You got me. I'm not gonna do this. No, sir. So I was with her on that, girl. No, ma'am. Now we meet this guy named Tony. Tony had me cackling. I feel like Tony was like in his early 50s, but he gonna sit up there talking about he a cigar influencer. And I'm looking like Tamar, like, okay, and what else you do? Because I know you just not no damn cigar influencer at your big age. And Tamar said, baby, what does that mean? He says that means that, I influence people to get cigars. So people that wasn't really smoking on cigars and stuff like that, they do it after I influence them in so many words. And I'm like, well, girl, that must come with a nice check then. It has to. I will hope to. I will hope that it comes with that. Or did you just come up with your alternative title that you was gonna put out there because you didn't want you didn't want people to know what you really do. You don't want the folks to know what you really do. That's what I'm thinking. But let's go ahead and let's keep going. All right. So he not only does he have the audacity to be a cigar influencer, girl, he goes on to tell Tamar that he ain't never been in love. I said, baby, I can't tell. I want to ask why you on this show then. You know what I'm saying? Because if you never been in love, let me ask you this: do you believe in it? Okay. Because and I felt like, well, you can't ask that man why he on the show just because he ain't never been in love. Maybe, hell, Jagged Edge said, "What's it like to be in love? All I'm really thinking of." And I was just wondering, will love ever know me? Okay, so that's what Jagged Edge said. So maybe he's searching for love. He wants to be in love. Who knows? But she should have asked him, "Do you believe in love?" Like she should have asked him, "Do he believe in that?" But anyway, so Evelyn invited Michael on a date, but he had to take a rain check, girl. I thought this was so funny because Michael is a cutie patootie. I believe that he's in real estate. Do not quote me on that, but he's definitely a chef. No, he's an architect. He's an architect and he's a chef. Okay, very handsome man. So she wanted to invite him out on a date. Okay, first of all, let's go back to Gatsby because when he was in her face talking, she said, "Baby, I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm not buying what you're selling." And Gatsby is so lame that he always has a quick comeback for everything. Okay, for he has a quick comeback for everything. I don't even remember what he said, but he was trying to make it seem like, and that's okay. Sometimes it be like that. Like, girl, he was just running off at the mouth. He quick with the words, girl. It's giving scammer. But anyway, all right. So Evelyn ended up talking to Michael. Right. And she ended up inviting him to go out on a date. And he said, "I would love to go out on a date with you. However, I have to take a rain check because I accepted the date with Nivea." Right. Meanwhile, girl, Cacoline, Nivea is over there talking to what's his name? Mac. While she's over there entertaining Mac, having her a good old time, she realizes like, "Oh, I like him, girl." So she walks over to Nathan and snatches her date back and goes and give it to Mac. Girl, I holler. I say yes, because one thing Nivea gonna do is keep it real hilarious. Y'all, I have to say the show is pretty entertaining, girl. It's pretty entertaining. I feel like Ready to Love might need to take a turn to do something similar like this. Don't be bringing these men and women together. Do it like bring a few ladies in and let these men fight for their love. Like let's do that, okay? Because most of the time y'all be having more men than women anyway. But yeah, let's do that. So let's keep going. All right. So Gatsby goes and put the moves on Tamar and she gonna invite him on a date. I said, "Now Tamar, why did you do that?" I feel like she just did it. She just did that for any guy that laid it on thick, that was really trying to get a date. She was willing to give it to him. I feel like the other guys probably didn't fight as hard. So Evelyn goes over there and she just paying attention and just watching, and then says that she put Gatsby on Tamar. I said, "Girl, no the hell you did not. You did not put that man over there on Tamar. But what you did do was back him the hell up off you. And I don't blame you on that. Okay." Let's go ahead and oh yeah, the next day. So the next day, Evelyn is talking to Nivea, and I overhear Evelyn tell Nivea that, "Oh yeah, Mac, that's your boo." And I was like, "Listen, I have to agree. I do because I think Mac really does compliment her." All right. Now we get to Tamar's date because there is going to be a date at a later time. Both of the ladies or all three of the ladies got to go on a date with two different men. Okay. Tamar has her date and they're making a cake or whatever for Tamar, and Gatsby is shook by JR the white man. Okay, he is shook. Gatsby, listen, I don't think Gatsby really know how to treat a woman or anything like that, because let me tell y'all, Gatsby is giving a boy, whereas JR was giving a man for sure. Gatsby, they were both over there making a cake. And JR's cake looked very neat, simple, perfect, like he does this and he's done it before. Meanwhile, girl, tell me why. Tell me why Gatsby's cake looks all thrown the hell together. He just throwing whatever the hell he wants on it. That is just so funny to me. He gonna sit up there and say that JR's cake is giving white privilege because it was wrapped in white ice. And girl, I hollered like, y'all is cutting up. And I could see Gatsby being on the show a little longer just for entertainment purposes only. All right. So what else happened? Yeah, so eventually she gets Gatsby to open up about himself, and he tells her more about his stuff. I believe more about his parents, how long they've been married. I think he even opened up about the last heartbreak that he's had. So he's just opened up and done a bit more talking. Now, when she's talking to JR, honey, JR tells her that, now see, I was sentimental during this moment, but at the same time I had questions. So when she's talking to Gatsby, I'm sorry, not Gatsby, JR, JR tells her we have lost in common. And I'm like, okay, not y'all bonding over the loss of somebody. I guess y'all do what y'all do. All right. So he's telling her like we both lost somebody to cancer. Right. So then he talks about like, when it came down to his mom's funeral, it was only him, his mom's casket, and a hummingbird flew in there. Right. And sat on top of the casket or whatever the case was. And I'm listening to it like all that sentimental type, like, dang, only you and your mom in there in this space for her funeral, whatever the case was. And I don't know, it was believable, but then it had me questioning. Let me get to Tamar real quick. So Tamar, when he first said it, I was like, oh my God, like it did make me think of her sister that passed away, Tracy, because Tracy really liked hummingbirds. So it just made me think of her. And then Tamar kind of looked away when he said that. And then, when she talked about her sister passing, how all of her sisters ended up getting hummingbirds. And I think they put her ashes in all of them or whatever, and they carry it with them, all the time or whatever the case was. It was something about a hummingbird signifying Tracy. So now in Tamar head, she thinking like, okay, this might be meant to be. This might be a sign for my sister. So I'm like, this is crazy, right? But at the same time, as much as I want to believe JR's story, I did kind of question, like, I mean, it's highly possible, right? Anything can be possible. Like that probably did happen. A hummingbird did fly on in there. But if you know that her sister passed away, and you know a lot about Tamar, then you also know about the hummingbird situation with her sister and the ashes and all of that. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know if he was being genuine and honest or if he was trying to, make a connection and he was forcing it. I'm not sure. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about it. All right. Now, Evelyn goes on her date. She goes on her date with Nathan and she goes with Puff. And basically on her date, they have to draw her. Well, girl, Puff sat up there and legitimately tried to draw her looking like a stick figure. And it was hilarious. Meanwhile, Nathan was real slick with how he did his. He created some type of art. It was like in circles. Like the middle circle was like one color, the outer circle, the third circle, then that circle, then he just did all these different circles in different colors. And he was just telling her, like, this is how I see you, outside of the physical or whatever. And I was like, that's real interesting for you to do all of that. And you don't even know this lady. But you lady don't think, and you did a way better job than old boy. Okay. You got real creative in the moment instead of like really butchering what she looks like. So he ended up being the first person to have a one-on-one with her. So they have a conversation. It seemed cool. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere because the boy just seemed way too young for what Evelyn likes. All right. Now she does have a sit down with Puff, and Puff is so stupid in my personal opinion because he thought this would be the perfect opportunity for him to expose to Evelyn that he has a foot fetish. And I'm like, I don't think no woman wants to hear that, even though she asked him how her feet look. I don't think no woman wants to hear that bullshit on their first date. But you know what else? It made me question some of the guys like Gatsby and hearing Nathan and stuff. It just made me question, like, are y'all saying and doing whatever just so you can stay on the show a little longer, thinking that it's going to catch so you can get to the next episode or something? That's just what I'm wondering. And while I'm talking about Nathan, let me go back. When Nivea asked him for a date, he did seem to me a slight bit hesitant on going on that date with Nivea. But then he goes over there with Evelyn and he all bubbly and this and that. So I'm like, is Evelyn really your type? Or are you really trying to secure a date with her? Which one is it? Because you seem more talkative with her than you were with Nivea. But either way. Okay. Now let's keep going. So Nivea has a date with Michael and Mac, which was pretty cute. Mac goes and like she takes Mac on the first one-on-one. While she's on that one-on-one, Mac gives her his poetry. He was like, I got some poetry for you or whatever. So he tells her the poetry and all of that, girl. And when he was giving her the poetry, one, I wasn't featuring. That's just me, girl. I don't know. All poetry doesn't have to rhyme, and I'm not saying his did or didn't, but I don't know. It was something about it. I feel like this is one of the moments where a person wants you to listen to their mixtape. So it's like, hey, check out my mixtape. Here you go, real quick. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? Or it's giving, hey, can I spit some for you real quick? You know what I'm saying? In hopes of somebody trying to sign them. Like that's what it was giving. Because when he first saw Nivea, the first thing he said in the confessional was something like, what that man said, he was like, for her to have the long-standing career that she's had and da 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 da, I'm intrigued. Something like that he said that was tied to like her career and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I see you. Like, y'all do got a vibe. I think a vibe and a connection is definitely there. But I would be foolish not to think that you would be trying to connect with my girl just so you could slightly get on by way of one of her baby daddies or something. Like, I don't know. It was giving off. It was giving off. But I could be wrong, girl. I'm just telling y'all what I was thinking. They don't mean I'm right. All right. So let's go ahead and move on because it's time to get to the elimination dinner party. Okay. So Evelyn pulls the man with the bad hair to the side. Okay. She wants to have a conversation with him and learn more about him because it's like 4 guys left over to likely be eliminated. And I can't remember everybody. Let me see. It was Gatsby that was left over. It was Nathan that was left over. It was Rashawn with the bad hair. And then there was one other person, I believe. It was one more guy that I can't think of that was left over. Okay. But I think it was Tony. I think Tony was the 4th guy that was left over, right? So Evelyn pulls the guy with the bad hair to the side, which happens to be Rashawn. And he talks about him being a vet. He also talks about, his daughter passing away and also just what he's been through as far as being a vet. So then Evelyn wanted him to elaborate, on the whole, veteran, his experience and stuff. And he was just like, oh, well, I don't really want to get into it or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, well, why bring it up if you really want to get into it? You only brought it up so she could probably have whatever sympathy for you by saying that you've been through a lot of stuff. I see what you're doing. Okay, I see you. But that's that. All right. Now Tamar meets with Gatsby and he tells her about him being hurt in his past by his ex, which is why he created the name Gatsby, I guess, as a shield and a way to kind of like protect him. But it still didn't really make no damn sense a bit to me. But okay, then Gatsby. Okay. Um, what else happened? I don't even remember Nivea really talking to anybody for real. But what I do remember is Evelyn talking with Nathan. And then all of a sudden, Rashawn wanted to come over. So Rashawn goes over. He's just cracking jokes and stuff. And he just being funny, saying, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Nathan because he going to have to sit up here and watch me, what I'm saying, take you on and be with me. But it was a really lighthearted joke. Like Rashawn wasn't even trying to do too much. You know what men do, try to make a woman laugh just a little bit. He wasn't making fun of Nathan at all. Actually, when Rashawn walked over, Evelyn told him to come over. And then Nathan says, who's that? She says, you're a boy. And he said, oh, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy, right? So it seems like Rashawn was making lighthearted jokes, but I guess Nathan didn't like that he was intruding on so much of the time that he had with Evelyn that he started to kind of like snap on him. And then he started coming for his attire, saying his suit ain't even tailored. Then look at his nails. His nails ain't even clean. And I'm like, why is you going off on this man? Like, is it really that deep? Like, you're trying to embarrass this man. Like, see that, like, you're whack. And when he did that, I said, baby, you over here looking like you're trying to get a moment for the cameras in hope of staying for the next scene or the next episode or getting another day or whatever to film, that you doing that so much that it's confirming that you, dear, are going the fuck home. Okay. Ah, 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 ah. You're going home. Period. Okay. I already knew that. So when they had their roundtable discussion, first person they sent home, I believe, was Tony. Nobody could get over the fact that Tony left his wife at the altar twice. Because I don't even know if I got into Tony like that, right? So Tony said he ain't never been in love. He said even when he was married, he said that they should have never been married. He said when they were supposed to be getting married, he stood her up twice, said he couldn't get off work or something like that. Mind you, I do believe him and this woman got kids together. Like, Tony is a raggedy ass man, and then you have the audacity to sit up there and say that you a cigar influencer. Not at your big grown ass age. What else are you doing, sir? Raggedy as hell. They sent him away from the table. I said, baby, he needs to run from the table. Run your ass away from this damn table. Then the next person, they ended up keeping Rashawn. And I know Nathan got real nervous after that. Then next thing you know, they sent Nathan ass home. Hello. And they ended up keeping Gatsby. So that's where we are for the first episode of Queen's Court. When I tell y'all, I was not expecting this. And I know a lot of us may not care for Miss Evelyn Lozada or anything like that. But let me tell y'all something. This show is really good. For real. Like, it's entertaining. It is entertaining. I don't know. Even though I've seen a ton of dating shows, I kind of feel like this is I don't want to say a bit refreshing, but I feel like maybe it is. And I think I know why as I'm discussing it. I feel like it's because we know the faces. Like we know who Evelyn is. We know who Tamar is. We know Nivea. Like we've known these people for decades. Like we're very familiar with them. Whereas watching dating shows where we don't know these people, but we're watching them grow to celebrity, status. Kind of like Lauren Speed and, or shall I say, Lauren Hamilton and Cameron Hamilton from Love Is Blind, watching their story and growing to like their story a lot, and then now they're like these celebrities, right? So I feel like that's what makes it a bit different, when you kind of know them already and you get to watch this journey. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's kind of dope. I'm enjoying it. I hope y'all are enjoying it. More importantly, I hope that you guys are enjoying this review. Okay. I wanted to come to you guys with this real quickly. Definitely be sure to like up the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Please share the video, all that great jazz. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.